Persona 5, am I right? The 2016 critically acclaimed JRPG developed by Atlus is stylistically stunning and a social commentary master. It was nominated for 2017 Game of the Year alongside of Best Art Direction and Score, and it actually won Best RPG, warranting a enhanced port, and a sequel, and a dancing game. I've got an estimated 400 to 500 hours playing it, a collection of pop vinyls, a figure, and I actually plan on going as Joker to SmashCon 2022. It's my favourite game of all time. Could you tell? Now, it's not just mine, there's an entire fandom out there of, you guessed it, fans that love it just as much as I do. From cosplayers to activists, the game really stole the hearts of both critics and fans alike. Here I am discussing how the Persona 5 fandom, that's fandom with a PH and a D in there somewhere, relates to fan studies, a topic in my uni course. Yes, this is a uni video, fantastic debut, thank you for asking, but I really think it's something worth discussing regardless. It helps highlight the differences and impact that a game, let alone a piece of media, can have on one person, community, or potentially the world. Persona 5, it follows a cat with a group of 8 teens, nope 9 teens, nope 8 teens with a robot and a police officer as they attempt to correct the ways of evildoers in Japan. That's the general idea. The characters are built up over the story with all different personalities, from the doctor with a bad track record, to the poorly treated heir to the fortune, right down to the psychiatrist who wishes they could just fix all the world's problems. In fact, the whole Megami Tensei franchise gives hundreds of thousands of people a character to project themselves onto, and you can see this within their representation and its culture of cosplay. Representation is a basic need for modern storytelling, because not only does it draw people in, it makes important stories as well. Enter cosplay, an important part of popular culture that is always misunderstood and misunderstood. As Mr. Narrator said himself, it gives millions of people a way to insert themselves and reflect and just escape from life for a while. An example of this is in a paper called This Isn't For You, This Is For Me, Women in Cosplay and Their Experiences Combating Harassment and Stigma, written by Christopher M. Lucas. In Chapter 5 Findings, there is roughly 1 page's worth dedicated to women finding and/or expressing themselves through cosplay. One of the people interviewed, an African-American woman, said she finally found herself in a character she loved, in reference to Tiana from Princess and the Frog. There was an averagely responded Reddit thread from 4 years ago where the original user asked r/Persona 5 what Persona 5 meant to them. One user spoke about how many characters shared a similar or the same struggle as they did, and how they realized they could stand up and fight for themselves and what they believed in. Another said how Futaba's struggles with social anxiety with all the people around her was similar, having panic attacks in crowds. I could say for myself that I could at least relate to Maruki's journey with forever wanting to protect people so they don't have to experience the same pain as himself. Not saying I can do what he did, not even to the fundamental level that he's a psychiatrist and I'm not, but playing through his story reminded me how naive I was just to think I could do that. The rising popularity of anime culture and JRPGs as a whole has helped blow up the cosplay industry as well, with it going from an estimated value of around 4,500 in 2020 to a projected 23,000 by 2030. Representation of walks of life really means things to people, cosplaying giving them many physical ways to project it. Okay, next on the list we have social influence. How does the fandom use its love and care to affect their lives? The answer? Twitter and forums. With the main cast sending out calling cards to literally change reality, the fandom has really used this to spread their own ideals of justice. Look at Persona 5 Twitter for example. In 2020, a Twitter account with the tag Take Your Heart was born. It was a dedicated meme page just like many others, however they used it to create their own content. The account has made their own calling cards to call out corporations or celebrities that have done something wrong or upsetting to someone else or their fanbase. Most recently was Nintendo, as they had announced the new Mario Kart 8 DLC. Many people were disappointed by the way the game looked and some missing features from the original tracks that were added. The Twitter account posted their card on the 19th of March 2022 and gained just under 1.35 thousand likes with a combined total of 377 retweets. On May 8th, 2022, I'm Funny 1987 created a calling card targeting Galaxy Girl 526, a Twitch affiliate. This was for going against her own self-worth, and this tweet was actually seen and liked by Ella. The fandom really took a lot away from the core ideals of the game and pushed it into a direction to feel comfortable talking and calling out taboo or uncomfortable topics in the media. Now, a lot of people see this as cringy, myself included, but to be fair, it gives a lot of people a way to have an outlet and express themselves about the way they feel. I just wish there was another way to do it apart from using Twitter! God! Well, conveniently, the #1 fan of the Phantom Thieves, Mishima, actually creates a website for them. Of course, he's got no idea he's talking with the leader of them, but regardless, it becomes a main staple of the game. The fan site actually did officially exist for a period of time before it was taken down. However, a user known as Rollers26 created a forum around 2017 based on it. This too has been taken down, but thankfully for us, he's archived it all. Going through it, you can really see lots of people interacting with the community, creating things, sharing stories and art, promoting their own communities, discussing acts in the video game, and so much more. I can't put it all in the video, but you can see how strongly the game has bonded the community together. You can see people talking about fan games or what they wanted to see happen in the Royal or Scramble, some of it even making it into the final cut. So yeah, Persona 5 does numbers to people. It actually says in this piece of paper here that late 2019 to 2020, a user on Reddit uploaded a short video of a game they were developing to r/Persona 5. During this year's 2022 June State of Play for the PlayStation, the game was presented. It's being developed by Studio Psy, which was actually created by the original Reddit user FKK Cloud with a release window of 2023. On June 3rd, he actually uploaded the State of Play trailer to the subreddit and gave everyone an update about what happened, how he quit his job, and an investor actually ended up reaching out to him and supporting him for this journey, all thanks to support because of the subreddit. The game Eternites is actually the perfect example of how a community and the love for a singular game can turn into something brand new and a dream come true, and I'll be following it closely. But to summarize, fandoms are just as important, if not more important, than the content itself. People can literally take those stories and turn into those characters and represent themselves by literally walking in their shoes. Cosplay is a truly booming industry that just gives so much more to people than it actually gets credit for. The fandoms took the core ideas of Persona 5 and used it as a shield to protect themselves while also calling out the said evildoers via social media. Whether or not they make a true difference, they're always going to be around, for the better and for the worse. Forum pages literally bind communities together, and it allows developers to know exactly what it is in the games that the fans love so much. Now truly, games and communities really need each other to survive. Either that or I'm thinking way too much into it.